Okay, so hello everyone. So today we have Divan Tripathi with us, who got All India rank 75 in GATE DA exam. So congratulations, Divans, for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. So today we are going to ask you questions to Divans, like about his preparation and what he followed for the GATE exam, what strategy he followed, and how he improved the scores. So we'll ask few questions to Divans, and that will help our next batch, right, for the GATE preparations. So,
Yeah.
hi Divansh. First of all, congratulations for securing such a good rank.
Thanks.
Okay. Yeah. So let's start with your first introduction. Like, where are you from? What is your education background? And what is your GATE score, GATE marks, and rank as well?
Okay. So yeah, thank you, Piyush, for help. So I'll start with my introduction now. My name is Divan Tripathi. I'm currently an undergraduate student at NIT Hamirpur. I am in my final year, and my branch is Electronics and Communication Engineering. So I gave the 2024 exam in Data Science and AI, and secured a rank, All India rank of 75 with marks 75. I had 70 marks, an All India rank of 75, and the normalized score was 804. So that's about my GATE results. And then I had a lot of interest in this field of machine learning. So it was natural for me to opt for this exam. Otherwise, I would have taken CSE exam, but this was a very good opportunity for me to showcase my interest and skills. And fortunately, I got a good result. So I'm happy with this.
Yeah. So, have you taken any other have you given GATE in any other branch also, like CS or EC?
No, actually, I did not, because I wasn't even going to attempt the GATE exam, right? But when the notification came out that they wanted to introduce the paper of data science and AI, so I thought this is the perfect opportunity for me, because after taking electronics, I learned that electronics is not my thing, to be honest. And machine
Okay.
learning and data science is what I would want to do for the rest of my career. So when I got this opportunity, so I didn't want to divert my mind. If I had taken another exam, I would have split my time, available time. So I just wanted to focus on this one exam. And so I didn't have any problems of having diverting my attention, right? So all throughout the 6 months, I was dedicated and had to study data science only. So that's why I didn't select any other exams and go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So, can you tell us about when did you start the preparation for GATE exam? And we know the syllabus. There are 7 different subjects. So, can you tell us your strategy for each of the subject?
I think the notification came around September or October, right? So
Hmm.
then I was pretty sure, like I had a strong mathematical background. Like I have a lot of interest in mathematics, right? So the subjects of probability, subjects like probability, I absolutely love probability. I have no doubts about it. I don't know, some people are a bit afraid of the subject, right? So I was sure that mathematics is my niche. I won't have to worry a lot. And when I did a little bit of research, I got to know that about 40% of the syllabus would be 40% of the GATE exam would be focusing on the maths part. So what I tried to do for maths was, the thing is, calculus and probability were my strongholds, and stats is a thing which isn't very, it doesn't have a very vast syllabus. If you keep revising the concepts, basic, mean, median, and then some tests, then it can be done easily. And linear algebra was one pain point of mine, because even during my JEE preparation, linear algebra was something I could do, but I did not love doing it, like probability or calculus. So how I approached this was that I referred a friend, and he told me that all of this has been coming in all the previous GATE exams, right? In CSE and all, in engineering mathematics, all this was covered. But the point was that the depth obviously could be we were not sure about the depth which would come in data science, because it is much more oriented, math oriented. Like calculus is the base of machine learning. So what I did was I checked a few videos to brush up my skills, and then was rigorous in practicing the mathematic questions. And I did a lot of types of question, tried test series and all. And so my preparation for maths was to practice a lot and focus on the PYQs, because they were the gold mine which I'll have to refer. So the maths was done. Then the same for DBMS, because I knew that DBMS is important for data science, but it isn't as important as it is for CSE. So for DBMS preparation also, I had a lot. There was a lot of content on YouTube for DBMS, right? Because it is a very core subject in CSE.
Right.
So I wasn't very strong in DBMS, because the thing is ECE doesn't really cover all these topics, my branch. But I had an interest, so I had a little bit of knowledge, basics, but I had to grow my skills in this subject. And then I referred to the videos of GATE, CSE and all, and then I practiced all the DBMS questions and took help from my friends who were preparing for GATE CSE, because they had been doing this for over a year, because they knew they have to do GATE eventually. So their preparation for such CS subjects was very great. And then comes the part of machine learning and AI. So I didn't really have to learn a lot. The thing was, I was practicing machine learning and all for my interest, right? So I had an idea of most of the algorithms, like linear regression, logistic, decision trees, naive Bayes classifiers. So the thing was, I had practical knowledge, like I could train a model and do prediction and stuff, classification. But what was interesting, there was a twist here, that they didn't really focus on the practical aspect of the ML algorithms. What they wanted to know is the intricacies, like naive Bayes, how the classes and the number of how mathematics is involved in all these algorithms. And so I had to dive a bit more deeper into the algorithms, because eventually what happens when we start doing machine learning, we just import things from Python. We stop doing it from scratch, right? So we somehow lose the grip of the mathematics involved. Like SVM, if I could recall, SVM could be the hardest topic, which it has a lot of mathematics involved. Like SVM, the algorithm of support vector machines, is the most complex algorithm of all machine learning syllabus that was mentioned there. So I had to revise it a couple of times, because compared to simpler algorithms like logistic regression and all, it had a lot of mathematical manipulation, like going into higher spaces, dimensions, and reducing. So my approach, I was confident about some things in ML, but others I tried to refer to Josh Stammer's videos. They were Josh StatQuest. He has a playlist for machine learning, and it was pretty good for getting an understanding. And then I referred some. And then the thing was, I had to find some questions of how to practice. So I did a mock test and test series. I had to approach the questions through them, because there was no PYQs available for these subjects. So it's similar for AI. And then Python wasn't very hard, because I had been doing Python, so I had an idea. But it could be tricky, because Python, there is a possibility you might give a wrong answer, because there's a very slight syntax error. And that's how I approached my subjects. So I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. So you talk about your practical experience in the ML field, right? But GATE DA is a different requirement, right? So they will ask some conceptual question based on mathematics, right? So mostly deals with mathematics and conceptual part, right? So like for that, like what you will suggest to other participants, like other GATE candidates, like shall we go for the practical implementation or just stick to the conceptual or mathematical aspect?
Okay, so the thing is, if we are just focusing on GATE, so the syllabus, if they wanted to go on the practical part, I would not have expected them to stop at artificial neural networks, because these days we know all about the, like, LLMs are the fashionable word, right? So they did not even include convolutional neural networks, recurrent neural networks into the syllabus. Like RNNs have LSTM transformers, which are the base of the generative pre-trained models, right? So if they wanted to focus on the practical part, they could have included these CNN, RNN, which are a quite much more complex topics of machine learning, right? But they chose to not include them. So I think they are trying to look for people who have a good understanding of all the basics, and when they dive deeper into the field, could make like they could, if someone could understand all the basic algorithms, I suppose they believe, then he could understand much more complex things once he gets into the field, right? So I would suggest that concentrate on all the basics. And what the benefit of you doing practical stuff is, you'll start loving the field of data science. Like, it won't be a burden. Like, all my, like, JEE was also a very good exam. We had to study, but I could not love my subjects in JEE. But the difference here was, I knew the potential of the things I'm learning right now. It can, I could do anything I want with the knowledge. If I could apply machine learning to any real life use case, right? So my practical knowledge gave me a sense of accomplishment and a strong liking to the subject, which helped me on days when I struggled to understand concepts. So I was like, if I can't if I can't even work hard for something I really love, so what will I be able to do? Like, do you get that point? So
yeah, okay, great. So like someone who is starting from scratch, don't have any AI, ML or even CS background, so they should definitely go for just conceptual and mathematics part. This just for GATE exam point of view, right? Once they are familiar with the concept, then they can go for practical aspect. But those are focusing on GATE exam, they should definitely focus on concept and mathematics part, right?
Yeah, surely. Yeah, if you first will have to make sure you get all the maths right, because maths is the most scoring part. Because even I'm not sure, ML is a topic, MLAI is a topic everyone in the field knows. I could ask anyone a question, they can't answer, because there are only trade-offs in the field. There are sometimes questions whose answer you could make publish a research paper for that answer. Like, how would the bias or variance change when you do a simple tweaking or in the algorithm? But if you have to do a option B or C, sometimes you just need a less knowledge. If you know a lot, it could make problems for you. So it happens sometimes. So I'm just telling them, you should focus on what's required and not become a genius. Like, you can't become the greatest machine learning scientist for a paper. They don't want that.
So that's what also my suggestion was, like, focus on basic part. Our main goal is to clear the GATE exam. Once you clear the GATE exam, you can excel in that part, right? Okay,
yeah, I agree.
So next question is that, so you have taken our test series. So can you tell us your experience about the test series?
Yeah. So the thing was, everyone knows that test series are very crucial in preparations, right? Because you can't really assess your knowledge unless you test and get a score that stares at your screen. When you see a 40 score, you know that you did a lot of mistakes and you'll need to grow. But when you see a good 60, 70 score, you know that you performed well, you'll have to analyze. So the thing was, the paper was being conducted for the first time. So I had a friend, Akshay, we used to do everything together. We used to prepare, right? So the thing was, we tried a lot of test series, but we did not get a test series which could, we were never confident, like, this test series is what would be asked in our exam, right? So because some people made questions which were so difficult that they could not be solved, and some people just made questions which were like a cakewalk. So I did not get a good test series. Until then, some I searched Google and then I saw your website, right? It was a very affordable test series. If I'm not wrong, it was for 200, 300. I don't know,
Yes,
with
200,
10
300
test
only. Yeah.
series.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it had 10 tests. 10 tests. So like there was one mock test I gave that to see how, like, what quality of test, and I was pretty impressed with that, because it had good coverage. And the main part of the test series was the solutions, because sometimes the most important thing after a test series is to be able to evaluate your results, right? So
Right.
if a test series cannot give me, uh, like, if I know I have done 10 questions wrong and 15 questions I didn't know how to answer, but if I spend 3 hours on a paper and after the 3 hours too I do not know the answers to the question I could not solve, or made mistakes, so I cannot grow. That is a clear point. So what I liked about the test series was that the solutions and the approach given, how to attempt the question, type of questions, and the clear explanations of the answers, how I should have approached the question, right? So it gave me, because I maintained a notebook, right? I had a notebook where I always wrote what questions I had. I did a SWOT analysis, basically, the strength, weakness, opportunity, threats. So the test series had some statistics, like which subject I was struggling in. DBMS, I got 4 wrong, 7. Because what happened, some subjects like DBMS, you don't know you are doing wrong. Because in maths, if you can't get option C, A, B, any option, you haven't solved that question. You won't take a C option. But in DBMS and such stuff, which doesn't use a lot of pen and paper, you'll do a silly mistake. There is a high probability. So through the test series, I learned that there were some subjects like AI and DBMS where I was frequently doing a lot of silly mistakes, and I made sure that I made notes about them, that I'll have to read the question and again on these topics before attempting my final answer, right? So the test series was very helpful because it had the questions were sometimes they were repeating, so I got to know that these are the concepts that I should focus upon. And finally, when I gave the gate paper and I saw the level of questions, I was very satisfied, because it almost matched the level of the test series I was giving. Because on that day, if they had given a much harder paper, I don't know what I would have done something, but it would have been harder. But
Right.
it matched the test series level, so it was your brilliance that you could predict that this is what they are going to ask. And so thanks
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, thank you so much. Like, so this exam was happening for the first time, so that's why I kept the test series easy to moderate only, because I knew, like, since I am working from last 3 years with IIT professors only in content
Yeah,
development only, so I know that what they will think. So they will not keep that paper much hard. Like, there will always be a few questions that will be on harder side, but that is the trend for all the gate papers, right? So there will always be a
yeah,
5 6 harder question, but mostly 50% of the paper is easy to moderate only. So this time
yeah,
it was the first time, so that's why I keep the paper easy to moderate. But I feel that for the next time they will increase the difficulty level, because we have one complete year, right? So they are going
yeah,
to increase the difficulty level, especially in the ML and AI part, I guess.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
because after the exam, my first reaction was, why didn't they ask machine learning in the paper? Like,
Hmm.
there was maths, there was everything, but I could not find machine learning in the paper. It was like almost way too easy of
Yeah.
ML, because
Basic
it
question.
has a lot. Yeah,
Okay. Great. So you talked about the analysis of a test series. So, like, how you improve
yeah,
the score? Like, suppose you got first test you 50
yeah,
marks, then how you try to
yeah.
improve that score in for the test series? Yes.
Yeah, okay. So what I did was, when I attempted the paper, the first
Hmm.
thing that you'll have to write on your walls if you want. The thing is,
Hmm.
if you can give only 6 papers, give 6, but you'll have to analyze them thoroughly. If you give a test exam and do not analyze it, it's 3 hours wasted. because if without analysis you won't grow, you can't grow in your next attempt, right? So what I did was, I suppose there were 10 tests. I could not give all of them because I didn't have the time, right? I had to match my preparation revisions with the exam. So I think I gave 7 or 8 papers, because 7 or 8, because last the week before my exams I had a paper every day. I tried to squeeze in 2 papers a day, but I knew it is a blunder, because if I won't be able to analyze the test, both of them would be wasted. Yeah. So what I used to do, I gave my paper 9 from the same time of exam, 9 to 12, and then I had my lunch break, and then sat back. I gave 3 hours for analysis of my papers. Like I made the first of all, I saw all the questions that were correct, and see if how much time I gave. I got an idea, and then I focused majorly on the questions which were wrong, because the problem with wrong answers is I invested time and got negative marks, right? It's much better to leave questions unanswered. So eventually, after a few analysis, I got to know, like I mentioned previously, the problem with subjects like AI and DBMS is you tend to do silly mistakes, which you won't be able to identify at the time of attempting. But when you analyze your paper, you'll be embarrassed that how you could make such a silly mistake. And after you make a mistake, there's no going back, right? So you'll have to learn to be very concentrated while attempting the paper. And also apart from this, what I had to learn was, like you mentioned, that 50% of the paper would be easy to moderate. So I had to get a strategy ready, because I can't, even if I left maths, probability or calculus, I'm sure they could give me a probability question that isn't worth solving in the exam. So I had to devise a strategy where what I did, I went through a paper in 3 sets. Like in the first attempt, I did all the questions which I was pretty sure if I touch my pen, I'll get the correct answer. I did. And while going through, I marked for review every question. I know that I could do it, but it could get tricky, or this has a concept that is a little bit tricky. Like ML, they ask a theoretical question. I am dicey about 2 options, right? So I marked all such options marked for review. And then what I did was, and there were clearly 10-ish questions which I knew I had no idea. How could there is no probability that there is no possibility that if I invest time, I would get an answer. So I leave them that if I get a lot of time at the end, I will start thinking about them. So what in my first attempt, I did the questions I knew and then marked for review. And after this, what I focused upon was, because I didn't want to do wrong answers, I focused upon going back to the answers which I marked and rechecked if I've done any silly mistake or not, because that hurts more than trying to solve a new question. Because if I invested time and I could have gotten an answer, I'd got a negative result. So it is a blunder. It's much better to leave the question. So after making sure that all my correct attempts in my first round are good to go, I'll go back to all the mark for reviews. In the first step takes only 1 hour, 120, 130 hour at max with all the revision. Because now I am sure if I'm done 30 questions also, 20, 30 questions, they are all correct. And now I can focus on the mark for review questions. And then I'll go to my strengths, try. And mostly the thing, I used to be able to do 60-70% of the questions left. And then at this point, I'm at 2-ish hours, 2 to 20 hours. I have more than 30 minutes left. And I'm at a very good position at my paper. Like I have done 40-ish questions, which I'm confident about. And now I can spend my 30 minutes on trying to do some questions which are tempting, like a mathematical question, which I think I could do. But if I would have started with that question, I would have gotten my morale low if it didn't solve, right? So you have to maintain your morale throughout the paper. So this is a strategy I came up with by attempting, and this worked very well. So that's the importance of test series, I guess. And analysis is much more important than giving tests. You'll have to go through your analysis again and again, so you don't repeat the mistakes you committed. Yeah.
So that's why also I have told to many students before that giving test is not enough. You have to analyze the state. After spending 3 hours, at least 2 hours you have to spend on the analysis part. Which topic was difficult, like which topic based, like which question took more time to solve. So those analysis very important, as you have also done that, right? So that's a great thing. And this will also help, like what you have suggested, take the solve the paper in multiple rounds. So this will help in time management also, right? During those 3 hours.
Yeah, analysis is good because sometimes if I get a pattern that I am not able to solve questions of this topic, I could take a break and revisit that topic, right? Because if it's an easy topic and I'm not able to solve, so if I invest 1 or 2 hours in understanding that topic again, and in my next exam I can improve my result because I'll be able to do that questions of that topic, right? So this is where analysis is very crucial, as you mentioned.
Yeah, okay. So that's great. Yeah, so thanks, Divansh. So that's what I want to ask. Like, so it will really help to future candidates, GATE aspirants. So one last question, like, so after your BTech, what you are planning to do? MTech, MS, or direct PhD? So what's your plan?
Yeah, I think I'll go for MTech. I'm dicey about IIT Delhi or Bombay. I'll try. I'll see which option I like because I'm based in Noida, right? So IIT Delhi is very close to my home. But the thing is, you want to live 2 years, you want to explore more. Right now, I'm in Himachal. I have discovered all of Himachal, and now I'm thinking I could go to Bombay and explore that for the next 2 years. So let's see what I do. Yeah.
That's great. Like if you got a chance to visit IIT Madras, do message me. I'm working there only.
Okay.
So yeah, we can meet.
Yeah, sure. If it happens, I'll come. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Thanks, Divansh. Thanks for joining. Any other thing you would like to share?
Yeah, like a general tip I would like to any aspirant out there, right? It's not very technical, but it is, the journey would be hard, right? It isn't very easy. Like you will start studying and every day you'll have good days. You'll have very bad days. You'll have days where you'll say, do I even need to do this? What's the profit? There are a lot of people competing, right? So to avoid such problems, try to be sincere, not serious. Like it's my WhatsApp status too. The thing is, if I have worked 8 to 10 hours in my day, I know I could enjoy my evening, right? And that is very important because the official GATE WhatsApp group also shared a wellness video where they said preparation is important, but you'll have to manage your time. You'll have to go around with friends, follow a hobby, whatever helps you relax, right? Because there would be days where you'll get a score which would crash you down. You'll almost be sobbing, like, how could I score so low? But sometimes you just need a break. And there is nothing wrong with taking a break or enjoying while preparations. Because I enjoyed whenever, like I had a very good support of my friends, and that I'm very thankful for. And if possible, try to get a very good set of friends who push you forward. Like someday your friend would have a bad day, you could help them, and someday they'll help you back, right? So have a surrounding, have a good and progressive environment, and you'll surely grow and achieve greatness if you have a good group, because you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, right?
Yes,
so choose your friends wisely and enemies wiser, but can't worry about enemies right now. So yeah, that's all. Enjoy your preparations. You'll have to enjoy, otherwise the thing is, you'll have to enjoy whatever you're doing, right? Because you do not have control over the result. You only have control over your hard work, how much you could work. So stoicism is a philosophy which tells, just focus on things which are under your control. Like wake up at 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. Don't be distracted at all. You tell that this is the time I'll study, I have no option. And after those 8 to 10 hours, you'll be so happy with yourself that I worked so hard. You'll yourself call friends, like, let's go for a walk, let's have tea together, right? So enjoy every day and don't take a lot of stress. It would not help you in your preparation. Yeah, that's all. I think
Yeah.
it's
So thank you
important.
so much. Thanks, Devansh, for such great words.